Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on this Power of Six inspirational call. I'm so glad that you took time out of your busy schedules to, to listen in. And, the thing about this call is that we share ideas that will help you propel your business, to accelerate your business. And, we're really doing some big things here at LifeWave. And, it's going to take all of us pulling together and just holding hands together to make this work. So listen, let me just introduce myself. My name is Verdita Monk. I'm out of Atlanta, Georgia, for those of you who are new here tonight. And I want to just let you know that the Power of Six is a system that was developed, came up with this idea a little over a year ago, because some people did not understand or was not able to visualize the power of our compensation plan. But this call is not just about maximizing the compensation plan. This call is about empowering you so that you can maximize the compensation plan. So if you hang tight, we're going to share some concepts tonight that hopefully will empower you. Tonight's subject, as you know, is a winning team. Okay. Now, let me go to my first slide here. Let me go to my first slide, you guys. I'm at the wrong slide. Okay. So now listen, you guys, before you even, this is what I want to say, before you even think about building a team with this company, the first thing that people look at is you. It's not just about what, the product or the company. People buy you, and if they don't feel good about the person that they're talking to, you're not gonna be building them. They're not gonna be added to your team. So the question I want to ask you is, would you rather be selling hot dogs, or would you rather be selling hot dog stands? See, this is not what we're talking about tonight is not about selling a product. It's about it's about building a team, and building a team is a composition of several things, but it's not just about selling a product, you guys. So you got to develop your own self. You got to have some self-development, some personal development in order to win in this business. So tonight we're talking about a winning team, and every leader wants their organization to perform at a high level, but how do you go about doing it? So many people I talk to on a daily basis, they talk about, oh, I can't get my team to do this. I can't get my team to do that. Obviously, you don't have the right people on your team, and we're going to be talking about that. So the first thing we're going to need to do is establish clarity. Have clarity about who you are and what you stand for and where you're going. You see, as a team, you have to paint this vision of what you want to do with this business, where you want to take your team. So to build a winning team, you have to find people who share your values and sense of purpose. Now, if anybody knows this, you can definitely speak up at this time. Excuse me, 1 second. Trying to fight this cough, you guys. But what would you say, you don't even have to say it out loud if you don't want to, is the brand of our team? What would you say our brand is? And think about it. Trying to get this thing to move. Our brand is empowerment. Like I said earlier, our brand is to empower all of us so that we can do what we need to do to reach the top of this company, because that's the reason this call was started in the first place. So, that's a huge thing to envision, and to empower each other is what we're doing here. The second thing is the right people. See, you've got to bring the right people to your team. The biggest thing they're talking about this week in sports is the trade of Anthony, what's he called? I forget, Anthony Davis to Dallas, and switching Lucas over to the Lakers. So excuse me, both of those are great teams, but it's about getting the right team together. And so when you have the right people on the team, you guys, you can achieve anything. Trusting culture. Build a culture of trust so that we'll support your team through thick and thin over the long run. term. Many of us have a huge vision for this business, that, you know, our company, and for what we're doing with our teams and where we want to go with our career in this company. But we need to be able to trust each other. If you say you're going to do something, be accountable and do it. You know, it's so frustrating. And I think it's a book called The Maximize the Moment by T.D. Jakes. He talks about partnering with someone who does not have the same passion as you. See, we have to have the same passion so that we can trust each other, that if you say you're going to do something, I don't even have to think about it. I know you're going to do it. That is the culture we need to be establishing. And then last but not least, leadership. To have a winning team, you guys, it requires exceptional leadership as well as courage on the part of every team member, without exception. See, what we're trying to do here is build leaders. One of the things that you hear me talk about is go straight to director. We're trying to build a director factory. If you're going to be a director, that means you're a leader. So everybody needs to adopt the idea of being a leader, and that's without exception. Every single team member needs to do that. Now, what does a winning team look like? Your winning team may look like this: people who have a desire to win, who are self-motivated. You know, when you're self-motivated, no one has to tell you to do your authorship. Nobody has to tell you, you know, when you bring a new partner on, what steps to go over to make sure they're set up correctly. You're just self-motivated. No one has to tell you to talk to people everywhere you go and share your testimony. Your people are reliable and dependable. You know, I just talked about that. Someone that says they're going to do something and you don't even have to worry about it. They're going to do it because they're reliable and dependable. People that have influence. See, what we're looking for are people that have influence, not so much people who are selling products. If you have influence, you can get people to do a lot of things. Have good communication skills. Because if you don't have good communication skills, you know, it's going to be very hard for people to want to partner with you. Strong leadership skills. This is what's going to be required to have your team reach those goals. People will listen to you when you have those leadership skills. And if you're entrepreneurial, people who are entrepreneurial, they're risk takers. They see the big picture. Okay. Many people just want to look at the product, and that's fine. But what we're doing on this call and on every weekly basis, we're looking for people that have vision, who want to win. Okay. Now, the slide here. Now, this is what I want to do too. I want to share with you. There are some people on this call who may not have ever been on here before. I want to share with you the reason you've got to. It takes a certain kind of person to do what. There's a big vision here, and the vision is to maximize the binary and matching bonuses in this compensation plan. There's a lot of money on the table, and so this is why, you know, I've offered this script that similar to this script. If you were to call someone up and say, "Listen, listen, I'm calling you to share something very important and time sensitive. I'm working on this project that I'm very excited about." And it has to do with stem cell technology. See, stem cell technology is a very sophisticated topic. Listen, based on the projections, this has the potential to generate multiple millions of dollars within the next 6 months. However, I need 6 partners to help me execute this successfully. And I thought about you because you're really sharp and I respect your business acumen. Are you open to hear more about this? Now, if they have a entrepreneurial spirit, if they're really sharp people, they understand how to recognize great opportunities. I mean, and for someone to say they're not interested in opportunity, I don't know why not, because the things that are going on in the economy, we better really pay attention and take care of our own future and put it in our own hands, because we're going to get left behind, you guys. So when you hear you say stem cell technology and you say based on the projections, we're looking at multiple 6 figures in the next 6 months. What you're going to do next is tell them, listen, I've got this call that's coming up at 6 o'clock today, and I've got a couple other people that are interested. And if it, is this something that would you be able to be available at that time? And if they say, yeah, if they say no, then listen, when's your next time? Because this is really important. I want to make sure you see it. You're going straight out to the opportunity with this script. You're not saying, I want you to try this patch. Not saying that you shouldn't do that with some people, but when you're trying to approach and get the right people on your team, you've got to offer this opportunity. This is a whole different game when you're looking for the right partners, you guys. So when they see this chart, basically, this is all this is saying is you're building a director factory. It takes 6 people that you personally enroll to duplicate that and go get 6. When that happens, it's 36 on your second level, you're automatically director. It doesn't take 36 people on your second level for you to be director. All I'm saying, we're simplifying the process and telling everybody to focus on getting 6, because you will not be a director without 6. If this keeps duplicating it all the way down, see, because we're trying to help you get those 6 pretty quickly, but no longer than 30 days. Do you realize that if you did that in 30 days and tell everybody to do the same, you got the right sharp people, you will be way down here on the 6th level, maxing out the binary at 25,000 a week. But when they see this page right here, and you say, well, listen, this is what's going to happen when you max out the binaries, but the binary commissions every week. You're going to get matching bonuses on 6 people that are also earning 25,000 a week. You're getting 25% of what they're earning. That's $37,500. You're getting 20% of the 36 people on your second level. That's $180,000. You're getting 20% of 216 people on your third level. That's $1 million. If that looks just like 6 figures to me, well, $6 million. We said it is projected that in the next 6 months you'll be making millions of dollars. That's $5 million a month. $5 million a month. Now, that's why I said this is a long-term vision. We're not trying to go anywhere. We're hanging around. This is a legacy company, you guys. If people, that's why you have to have people with vision in order for them to hang around. See, some people are not willing to go through the fire. They're not willing to do what it takes to get to the other side. They quit right in the middle of the process. They're not willing to do what it takes to get to the prize. And that happens in life in so many things. I remember one of when my oldest daughter went to college, one of her best friends, pretty smart young lady, went to high school with her, and she wanted to be a plastic surgeon. They went to Howard University, and Howard is also known as a party school. And they warned us to have your children stay focused that first year, because there's so many, celebrity musicians. That's one of the first schools they want to stop at when they're traveling and doing tours around the country. That particular friend, she did not make it past the first semester because she was so busy partying and stuff. So in other words, you see what I'm saying? She wasn't willing to do what it took to follow her dream. She sat there and partied herself to basically get kicked out of school, okay? Because she didn't get good grades, okay? But you have to, you just have to do what it takes. You have to stick and stay. So we're looking for people, and that's what you want to tell people when you're talking to them. I'm looking for people that have a huge vision, because that's what it's going to take to do what we're about to do. We're about to get paid, okay? Now listen, you guys, this is not going to be a long call because I've been on calls all day. I have another launch call right after this call for the West Coast. But I definitely wanted to just give you this message to realize that you're on a winning team. Our company is a winning company. We just got the Bravo Award again this year, 2 years in a row for being, in other words, I was there when the CEO of that magazine said, no other company, no other network marketing company out there can even compare to LifeWay. That's why we got the Bravo Award 2 years in a row. We're about to hit $1 billion, you guys. And there are people that I know personally that are earning over $25,000 per week just in the binary, not including what they're doing in matching bonuses. And so this is why it's important for you to understand what we have our hands on. So what I want to do is have a little locker room talk for a moment. Does anybody out here on the call have any questions about anything. It could be about the comp plan. It could be about, anything. Just if you're having problems talking to people, and I will let you know that I am willing to do launch calls with anybody on this call. If you have not launched your business, feel free to, jump on, give me your number. I'll give you a call. I will do a launch call for you. Invite your friends so that you can help your business get launched properly. So if anyone wants to unmute themselves and share something or ask a question, feel free to do so at this time. Like I said, this is not going to be a long call tonight. What is the best time to? Okay, can you, Monica, do you mind coming on and verbally saying that? Unmute yourself.
Okay, as long as I don't show my face. How are you?
Hi, Monica.
Hi, hi.
It was good
Just
to
wanted
see
to ask.
you in Houston.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, H-Town. Wanted to ask, so, if I'm calling, making cold calls, or I'm going to say warm calls, because this is off of my phone list and friends that I actually know, what's the best time to call them? Because someone was telling me research said that people are more likely to say yes in the mornings, like when you call, but most people are at work. So I wanted to know from people with experience, like, what's the best time to call people? You don't want to catch them when they're really busy in the middle of dinner.
Well, what I would do is this. First of all, you got to know who you're calling. If you know they're working, definitely don't call them during the time when they're working. If they're at home during the day, then morning may be good. I've never heard that anybody say in the morning is best, but in the evening, you're right. People are, when they get home, they're busy trying to cook dinner, different stuff like this. What I would do, especially if you know them, listen, I got something you need to know, or something like that. Say something like that to raise their curiosity. What's the best time for me to call you? I just need about 10 minutes of your time.
Okay, so actually do a text and do an invite, kind of like
Yeah,
let's schedule it.
well, not an invite.
Well, let's
Ask
schedule
them
it.
when's the best time I can call you to talk. Because see, if you're inviting somebody to a call,
Yeah,
or if you're
keep
even
control.
telling them anything about the patch or whatever it is, or that script that I just shared with you, you don't want to text that. You want to call them so they can hear the excitement in your voice. But most people that I call them, and if I miss them, say, listen, I just tried to call you, but I missed you, but I got something very important you need to know, or something like that. And then I say, what's the best time to call you? And that's
Okay.
what I would do. But that way, that they say, okay, listen, I'll call you at that time.
Okay, so actually just make an appointment almost with them to give them a call. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Great question, Monica.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to come on and ask any kind of question that may help somebody else? Don't be shy, because I was at a meeting the other night and asked everybody, do anybody have any questions? After the meeting is over, this one person comes up and got about 4 questions, and those questions could have helped somebody else. So feel free to come on and ask your questions now so somebody else may be blessed by the answer. I got some leaders on this call too. Out of New Jersey, I see Mr. Derek Hawkins on this call. I see Ms. Renee McCray on this call. These are some bad to the bone people. I see Professor Strother out of Kansas City on the call. I see Tim Jake. I see y'all so quiet. I don't get it. I don't get it. I see Miss Kenyatta, director out of Houston, Texas.
Hi,
All right.
Miss Verdita. This is Renee Tomlin. How you doing?
Hey, Renee, how are you?
I'm doing fine. The thing I get asked a lot about is getting people to sign up for the subscription, the auto ship. Can you walk us through just how to encourage people when they sign to get on auto ship? Because that's where our money is.
All right, I know that's right. Okay, there's 2 reasons that you can elaborate on to encourage people to be on auto ship. Number 1, if they're serious about, this patch and want it to work, let them know just maybe especially if they have some type of health issue, remind them when they get prescriptions at the doctor doesn't say take it 1 month and then stop. They want you to be consistent and say, this is the same thing. however, it is encouraged that you to stay on this patch as many decades that if you're 60, that's 6 decades. That means you need to be on the patch at least 6 months. There's a lot of stem cells in your body that need to be replaced. And don't feel that just because you feel better or whatever, if you had high blood pressure and it's gone, that doesn't mean that there may be other issues in your body. So encourage them from that standpoint. But secondly, especially if they said they want to build a business, tell them there is no option. You have to be on auto ship because you will not get paid. And you ask them, do you want to get paid? If they say they want to get paid, you have to be on auto ship because the way you get paid is the points that are accumulated under you, and you cannot accumulate those points unless you're active. So I had a person, it was so frustrating for them because they sat there and I think it was 30-some thousand points. I mean, that's not a lot to me because I've been in so long. There's some people on this call got millions of points under them, literally. But 30,000 points is a lot of points, and to let it go to flush because they weren't on auto ship is just unfortunate. So let them know that's the 2 reasons they would want to be on auto ship.
Bernita, good
Hey.
evening.
Yes, Patrick, how are you this evening?
I'm wonderful. Just one quick question. The first person that spoke today, I want to follow up on that. I find that most of the people that I talk to are cold market. And one of the things that I find nowadays is that a lot of people do not answer their phone. I mean, like, I run into that. I have so many people I meet in my travels, and to reach them after that, that's where I run into a major problem, is how do you, a lot of people seem not to answer their phone. You run into that type of problem.
Yes. And that goes back to what I said at first. First of all, you got to sell yourself. And I'm not the kind of person that as soon as I see somebody, I'm just meeting somebody and I just ask them that question. I mean, somebody else may take you to do it, but I don't do it because it does come off as if you're selling. And a lot of times when it's a cold market situation, you don't have a lot of time to talk to them because it's maybe you're sitting at the airport or whatever. But I kind of try to make itself kind of intriguing as to make them ask me what it is I do. And then I don't try to just rattle off every single thing I know about the patch. I'll say, you know what? It's just, somebody say, well, what is it that you and your husband do or whatever, something like that. I mean, tell them that we are working with a company that offers a stem cell technology patch. And it's creating a lot of miracles every single day. And so we're really passionate about it because of what it's doing. And, maybe they'll ask a question or something, but I always say, for example, I give a testimony. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to answer the phone as a result of that, but if I can, what you do is you want to make the person like you. Don't focus so much on the just talking about the patch so much. Make them like you first, because because like I say, you're selling yourself. We've got a person on the call. I'm gonna see if he's still here. See if he's still here because he is a salesperson. Mr. Fred Washington, are you there? Do you mind unmuting yourself for a second if you're still there? Mr. Fred Washington? Oh, I don't know if he's gonna.
Basically, what you're saying is to build a relationship with someone when you meet them
but this person is a salesperson, and I was gonna have him to share an idea or something to add on. But if anybody else has something they could add, I mean, some great recruiters on this team. We've got Miss Erica.
Bernita,
Yes,
this is Gwen. And
hey, Gwen.
what I found out, if you make a friend, when you meet somebody, you approach them as a friend, and they see that you're approachable, you're friendly, you're talking, you're laughing with them, and not so serious. Those people remember you.
That's right.
If you're not pushy, you just be a friend. In the doctor's office, in the grocery store, they're trying to get something off the shelf. Can I help you with that? Oh, you used this before? What are you gonna cook? You just start making a friendship. And once you start being a friend, they're going to say, yeah, girl, I couldn't reach that. My shoulder is killing me. Or they start to tell you. You don't have to ask them. But if you show yourself open enough and just relax, have fun with it.
Mhm.
And like when people I recruit and they say, well, I don't sell. I said, sweetheart, I don't sell either. I tell.
That's
We
right.
don't
And
sell,
Ms.
we
Gwen, would
just
you say
tell.
that you recruit a lot of people that you just meet like that?
Yes, I do. I do. That's mostly because I'm out of my warm market, so I have to go to cold market.
Yeah.
And I don't meet a stranger. I purposely go in and I look around, I see what they do. I put myself in that aisle. If I see it's a sharp dressed young lady and or a guy that's looking sharp and they're whatever they're doing in the doctor's office, you have a conversation with them wherever you are, but you got to be not just lackadaisia because you don't have but a window, that
That's
small
right.
window to make an impression. And
Yeah.
just have fun. Don't get caught up on it. Those that say no, let me tell you, it saves you a headache. It will save you a headache because sooner or later they're going to start complaining about the patch didn't do this and then, and you don't need that. There's too many people that want this and need it to be worried about those that are just critical
That's right.
about it. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sharing it because that's kind of what I was trying to get across. People buy you and they buying your friendship, they're buying your personality and your willingness to help them or whatever the situation was at that time. But because like I said, it can't be just like, have you ever heard of stem cell? You know, that comes off right as if you're selling. So, so make it a more natural conversation. Thank you, Gwen. Anybody else got any questions or even something they would like to share with us tonight? Okay, okay, there's Derek. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Vidita, how are you? Can you see me all right?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, I just wanted to share the with regard to meeting people. If you just ask people enough questions, eventually they're gonna want to know what you want to do, what you do, and
Mhm.
that's when you can actually ask the question, well, what do you know about stem cells? So it doesn't sound like you're approaching them. But also, I just want to talk about the importance of the launch. We've been promoting that for quite a while, and now tomorrow I actually have 3 people doing the launch. It's all at the same time. It's all one meeting, but they're each promoting as if it's their separate launch. And again, that's very important that they have that launch to get started. So I just wanted to share that and get those launches going. Sooner the better, preferably within the first, let's say, 72 hours to a week.
Right, yeah,
Uh, that's when people are most excited. But with regard to
yeah.
and the other thing, and I know it's old school, but you heard the term form, family, occupation, recreation, and money. If you have a conversation with anybody about any of those things, and they start to talk about those things at some point. Let's give a quick example. I was in the post office. There was somebody in front of me, somebody behind me. I said, well, I'm going to talk to the person behind me because the person in front's probably going to leave before I can finish. Asked them a couple of questions. What do they do? Lady said, well, she worked at a doctor's office, but she's sad because he's closing his practice and she don't know what she's going to do. And I said, well, what's your passion? What would you do? If money and time was an issue. And she said, well, I'd open up my thrift shop. So my question is, and this is something that I always ask, if there was a way. So as soon as she said she wants to open up a thrift shop, I said, well, if there's a way you can open up a thrift shop, I mean, if there was a way you can make some money, open up a thrift shop, would you want to know how? It almost don't make sense to say no because you just told me you want to open up a thrift shop. I'm asking you if there's a way for you to do it. Would you want to know how? So it's almost this self-fulfilling prophecy, and that's just something I use if I'm out in somebody as I start a conversation. So just ask enough questions, and they'll tell you what to say to get them to take a look. That's my 2 cents.
Yes, well, that is absolutely a great way to start a conversation. And but you know what? One more, I just realized, you guys, I think it's on this slide that because I said I had something else. I don't know why I didn't see the other. Oh, okay. I wanted to make sure you all remembered this. And it still is open if anybody got any questions or whatever. But please, by this Saturday is the last day of the early bird pricing for this event on April 26th. April 26th, we're having our regional event in Atlanta. It's called It's Our Time. And if you go to Digital Alliance 101, not only will you be able to get your ticket, it's $49, but the price goes up to $69 after this Friday. But you also want to, there's a link to register for the hotel, which is at the DoubleTree. Steve and Gina Merritt are our special guests, you guys. Let's not disappoint our team. Let's do what we got to do. Everybody on this call, please. We talked about this, I think, on our last call, how you don't miss events. The events are what is making your business grow. It raises your belief level. I mean, it was so exciting. We were in Vegas, you guys, just seeing all those people. And when we go to the events, we went to Orlando, all of those is what you bring your team along. And when they come back, they're going to be on fire. I think Mr. Danny, I see Mr. Danny from Charlotte, North Carolina on the call. I remember seeing him and his wife Sharon in Atlanta. They came back from Atlanta and they were on fire. And so, and Derek, who just spoke, him and his wife, they came back, they were on fire. Jewel Strother talked about when he came to the event in Orlando, he and his son came back, they were on fire. The events are what build your business, you guys. So please go to digitalalliance101.com and get your tickets today before, or write it down if you don't get it. Make sure you get it before Saturday. I don't care where you live, you know, regional normally means the cities and states around you, but sacrifice and come to Atlanta because, you know, this is the best place for us to have this event. Anybody else got any questions or comments before we end this call? All right. Well, it looks like, you know, we've covered a little bit tonight. And like I said, you know, don't forget our Saturday training Steve and Gina, they have this Saturday training every Saturday because that's where you're going to learn a lot as well. But thank you all so much for joining the call. You all have a good evening. We'll see you next week.